Okay, 1.1.4, we are still solving for x, and right now we have exponents that we have to manipulate. So 1.1.4, we have 2 to the power x plus 2 to the power 2 minus x equal to 17 over 2. Alright, first step, let us get rid of this fraction. So we will multiply everything by 2, and here we will multiply with a 2, multiply with a 2 here as well, such that this will be 2 multiplied by 2 to the power x plus 2, this one, multiplied by 2 to the power 2 minus x, and here this 2 will cancel this 2, so this means this is equal to the 17. Okay, now let us expand this. So this is 2 multiplied by 2 to the power x plus 2 multiplied by 2 to the power 2 multiplied by 2 to the power minus x, this one, equal to a 17. Okay, now these exponents look a little bit complicated. So far, there's nothing we can change here, and we did not have so many like terms, because here we have 2 to the power x and here we have 2 to the power minus x, so we cannot add or multiply, add or subtract this. So let us change this to a fraction and then change this to 2 to the power 2 to the power positive 3. So here we have 2 multiplied by 2 to the power x plus 2 to the power 1, because this is 2 to the power 1, multiplied by 2 to the power 2, that is the same as 2 to the power 3, because we add the indices. So now we have this 2 to the power minus x, so this is the same as multiplied by 1 over 2 to the power x equal to 17. We're bringing that down. Okay, so now we somehow have like terms, but now the problem is it's a fraction. So let us get rid of it. How do we get rid of it? We will multiply by 2 to the power x. Multiply by 2 to the power x, and again we'll multiply this with a 2 to the power x. So this will cancel this, such that here we will have 2 to the power x multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 to the power x, this one, plus 2 to the power 3. Okay, this is multiplied by 1, so it remains 2 to the power 3. So this is equal to 17 multiplied by 2 to the power x. Don't be confused by this. It's not a point, it represents multiplication. So now we have like terms. So this and this. Okay, so here we'll add the indices. So we'll have 2 to the power x plus x, that is 2x, multiplied by this 2, plus 2 to the power 3, that is 8, equal to 17 multiplied by 2 to the power x. Now, let us take the 17 multiplied by 2 to the power x from the right hand side to the left hand side. So let us bring this down. Okay, I'd like us to start with the 2. So we'll start with this 2 multiplied by 2 to the power 2x. Just because we started with this 2, it doesn't change anything because it's multiplication. So don't worry about it. Okay, let's continue to this one. We have plus 8. We're bringing it down. And then here, because we're taking it from the right hand side to the left hand side, so we will have minus 17 multiplied by 2 to the power x equal to a 0. Okay, now let's write it this side. So we have 2 multiplied by 2 to the power 2x. Okay, let's start with the 17 multiplied by 2x. So we will have minus 17 multiplied by 2 to the x. And then we bring back the plus 8 equal to a 0. Okay, now we have something that looks like this, but there's nothing much we can do, not unless we make it look like this. Okay, I want us to change this so that it looks like a quadratic equation. So this will be 2 multiplied by 2 to the power x. Let's put some brackets here. Squared. Why? Because this multiplied by this is the same as 2 to the power 2x. So it's still the same. We just manipulated that so that it can look like a quadratic equation. If you are confused, don't worry about it. You'll see it as we go. So minus 17 when multiplied by 2 to the power x. So there's nothing changing about that. And then we bring down the plus 8 equal to a 0. Okay, now here comes the crucial part. So this is what we will do. We will say let 2 to the power x be equal to k. Why? Because we want to make this look like a quadratic equation. How? So when we let 2 to the power x be equal to k, that means here we will have 2 multiplied by 2 to the power x squared. That means it's 2 multiplied by k squared minus 17 multiplied by 2 to the power x. That means it's 17k plus 8 equal to a 0. So now we have a quadratic equation. Now we have to factorize this quadratic so that we can get the value of k. How do we factorize this? We'll multiply the coefficient of k squared and the constant. So 2 multiplied by 8, that is 16. So now we have to find the factors of 16. Factors of 16, we have 1 and 16. We have 2 and 8. We have 4 and 4. So those are the factors of 4. So those are the factors of 16, I mean. So we have to pick a pair which will give us an answer of positive 16, this one, when we multiply the two factors. But those factors have to give us an answer of negative 16 when we add them together, which is the coefficient of this k. So I think we will use this pair, but both vectors have to be negative. Why? Because when you multiply a negative and a negative, you get a positive 16. Also, when you add -1 and -16, you get an answer of -17, which is the coefficient of this k. So now we'll distribute this. So this is what we will do to factorize this. So now we bring down the 2k squared, this one, and then next we take one of our factors, which is -1, which is, so we'll say minus k here, because minus k has the coefficient of -1, this one, and then we use this one again, the coefficient as a coefficient of k, to be -16k. Why? Actually, we haven't changed anything here, because minus k is equal to -17k. So we bring down the 8 plus 8 equal to 0. Now we are going to factorize by grouping. We'll group the first two and the last two together. So the common factor here on the first two terms, k is the common factor. So we'll factor out k, open a bracket. To get 2k squared, we will multiply k with a 2k. And then to get minus k, we'll multiply k with a -1. Close a bracket. So now we factorize the last group, which is the last two terms. And we have a common factor, which is -8. So we'll factor out 8, and then we open a bracket. To get a -16k, we'll have to multiply -8 with a 2k. And then lastly, we have +8. To get +8, we'll have to multiply -8 with a -1. Close the bracket, equal to a 0. So now we have something that looks like this. So to factorize this, we will open a bracket, two brackets, equal to 0. On the first bracket, we will take these terms that we have factored out. So we have k and -8 here. And then we have the common bracket, which is 2k minus 1 here. So this is now factorized. So what happens after factorizing? We solve for k. So k minus 8 is equal to 0, or k, 2k, this one, 2k minus 1 is equal to 0. And now we have to make k the subject of the formula. When we make k the subject of the formula, here k will be equal to a +8, or k will be equal to 1/2. So what does that mean? When k is equal to 8, or k is equal to 1/2. Here we said we should let k be equal to 2 to the power x. So let us go back to that so that we can sort it out. So before we had let 2 to the power x to be k. So that means when k is equal to 8, that means 2 to the power x is also equal to an 8. So what is the value of x? The value of x, how do we solve this? Let us make this 8 to the base 2. So 2 to the power x is equal to 2 to the power 3, of which that means x is equal to 3. This is our first answer. And then here we had k equal to 1/2. So that means 2 to the power x is equal to 1/2. And then now, to get the value of x, we have to make 1/2 to the base 2. So 2 to the power x is equal to 2 to the power -1. So that makes x equal to -1. So these are our two answers in 1.1.4. X is equal to 3, or +3, and x is equal to -1. So that is just how we manipulate this question. Okay, up next we have 1.2.